welcome to our very first episode of Vicinity's newest podcast series, What's New in the Vicinity, where we talk about what's new and exciting in the industry. I'm Katie, and we are thrilled to have our first guest on, Scott Mulvey. Scott, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Katie.
Yeah, so Scott, as our AWS director, I was hoping we could talk a bit about how the Vicinity and AWS solutions work together to optimize AI and Gen AI functions for AWS customers. As you know, AWS has a really massive and really diverse footprint, and with them creating data in the cloud and at the edge and in hybrid environments just across the globe, the problem that usually arises is they need to make that data easy to access across different regions and availability zones. With all the buzz around AI, Gen AI, and analytics programs, can you touch a bit on how AWS customers can accelerate their access to these dispersed data sets to really leverage the full power of the AWS portfolio? And how does Vicinity come into play there?
Yeah, I mean, look, distributed organizations are challenged to gather data across their ecosystems, really an attempt to gather a unified view of their organizations. What they need is a solution that allows data, no matter where it resides, to move or be accessed with deterministic performance to execute on that plan. I mean, this is exactly where Vcinity comes in. Our data movement and access solutions mitigate the effects of latency over distance, essentially allowing your WAN to operate as a LAN. I mean, this creates a continuous pipeline in AWS.
What impact would you say faster data ingest has on high performance app outputs?
Well, the power and value of quick data ingest can't be overstated, especially into AI and other high performance apps. What's evident is by accelerating data curation, cleansing, and model training, data ingestion impacts the time to make timely and accurate decisions. I mean, speed of ingestion is critical when you look at the impact of days to hours, hours to minutes, and minutes to seconds. I mean, the faster your data arrives and ingested into these systems, the quicker you can make predictions and control the outcomes. I mean, whether you're leveraging AWS Gen AI systems on-prem or within regions, the performance of the ingest can be optimized with Vcinity and AWS and maximize the decision-making capability, both in terms of speed and accuracy.
So in layman's terms, for non-technical people like myself, the faster the ingest, the more predictable the outputs become, and which you are saying can ultimately lead to more accurate decision-making for the organization, which is great. Scott, you mentioned deterministic performance a bit ago. Can you touch a bit on what you meant by that?
Yeah, look, Vcinity has a tangible impact in time to value, and we can calculate that for our customers. I mean, leveraging AWS and Vcinity, customers can create a seamless, predictable, and continuous data pipeline with little or no disruption from traditional obstacles plaguing wide area networks. I mean, Vcinity enables predictable performance for data, allowing organizations to plan effectively and execute their plans with precise timing. I mean, this is differentiated from traditional solutions as most deliver data more slowly and unpredictably.
That's great. I think what would also be beneficial to bring up and what also differentiates Vcinity from other solutions is the fact that we don't have to touch or manipulate the data. Can you talk about how that would affect AI workloads within AWS?
Yeah, definitely. To me, it comes down to the efficacy of the data after its transport. I mean, for example, enabling faster data ingest or access for files that can't be manipulated, like encrypted files. I mean, so a government agency or anyone with security requirements, pretty much everyone, can have peace of mind that the data is secure and maintains its source integrity.
Which is definitely a huge topic nowadays. Scott, I know Vcinity was recently announced as the first data movement solution in the new Amazon S3 Express One Zone launch, which is really exciting. Congrats on that. Can you touch a bit on how that's going to affect customers?
Sure, and thank you for that. We're all very excited and ready to get started. Basically, customers now have the option to utilize S3 as a performance tier, so time to insights is optimized. I mean, the combination of Vcinity and S3 Express One Zone provides an end-to-end performance solution that is unprecedented. I mean, customers now move data into S3 Express One Zone, build AI models, and then move those models into S3 standard for longer-term use. The entire process is now optimized with tremendous cost and operational benefits.
That's great. Who doesn't love more of that? Scott, we talked about a lot of cool new technologies and features today. Can you touch a bit on how that can be brought into a real world scenario and affect our customers?
Yeah, Katie, there's quite a few of those across industry, but one that sticks out is F1. An F1 race team engaged Vicinity to optimize their data flow for post-race analysis. I mean, traditionally, they would download the data from a car after a race to a hard drive and transport that hard drive back to a central location for analysis. This takes days. With Vicinity, as soon as the race is finished, Vicinity moves the data within hours, creating an entirely new paradigm for data analysis. The scenarios create a 30% positive return on investment, and it is even being discussed now how data can be gathered during the race to make intra-race decisions. Game changer. This is difficult, if not impossible, without Vicinity.
Definitely sounds like a real game changer, or some could say a real race changer. That's really awesome. Thank you, Scott, for hopping on with us today. I really do love being able to talk about how Vicinity is changing the way organizations look at their strategies around data accessibility and accelerating deployment of AI and Gen AI workloads within AWS. Scott, I really appreciate your time and being able to pick your brain on what we think might be the answer to everyone's data movement and access challenges.
Yeah, thanks, Katie, for having me again. And look, I'm always happy to spread our success stories and highlight our capabilities here at Vicinity.